So if you look at the current priorities, we all know that we are in the middle of the pandemic. I wish it is at the latter stages of the pandemic, but we all don't know. So currently the priority for us is delivering to promise, because obviously we want our customers to win in market, and we as a supply chain have made a massive stress on them as well. So ensuring that we have robust systems and secure systems is our number one priority at the moment, because we don't want technology to fail our ability to deliver to promise. So our main focus areas these days is ensuring that we have the right robustness, as well as with all the cybersecurity threats that are prevalent these days. Having a secure IT and infrastructure is also quite key for us. I know it kind of sounds it's here and now, but we are putting a lot of focus for the present while we think about what we are doing to prepare to make ourselves relevant in the future as well. So I think we're talking about a year ago, isn't it? Or more or less somewhere around March 2020. I think the first thing that came in was everyone had to stay at home and work. And luckily we had invested in infrastructure and systems that enabled us to work from home, like from day one. As soon as lockdowns happened, no one went into panic mode, because we had built that kind of connectivity, and we had digitized certain processes so that you could actually work from home as long as you had a good internet connection and a laptop, right? So that's a big piece where technology kind of helped to ensure connectivity, and we could mobilize people to stay at home and work, right? The second piece was mainly about using technology to kind of up the communication between everyone working at home, trying to understand how they are. So all the surveys that went through, again, technology was quite prevalent in that way. As well as in our manufacturing plants, trying to understand the risk that each of the plants are running due to contamination was also, we used a lot of technology there as well to do contact tracing, trying to assess the risk in that community, trying to understand the risk to our team members, was all done using technology. So I would say it has helped a lot. From a customer engagement point of view, was the other big piece where technology played a role. Because as you know, we would physically make our prototypes or samples to say, okay, this is how it's going to look like, and present it to the customer. Or sometimes the customer comes and visits us in our development centers to understand the capabilities of what we could do and how the product is going to look like. So they couldn't travel. They also had to stay at home. We couldn't travel. We are all at home. So we quickly switched into virtual prototyping. So virtual prototyping is something that we started doing, not at scale, but about 4 years ago. But it kind of got accelerated in the last 1 year or so. And there's high adoption even with our customers as well, because there is no next best alternative. So technology played a massive role in terms of at least getting the first proto sample done virtually and not physically. And also for the creations that we've done or we do, we usually pack our bags, go to the customer, present it on a catwalk. Even that couldn't be done. So we used kind of technology to do quite good product presentations digitally as well, which does justice to the product and the design and the technical detail as well, using product shows. So those are the other two areas that we've kind of done in the whole product creation area that technology played a role. So I would say technology played a role in different aspects. One, in terms of how do you how do you assess risk and contain our teams in terms of contamination on the virus. And the second one, in terms of the business process that we changed into adapting the fact that no one can travel and touch and feel things. I would say those are the two main areas that we feel that technology really helped us. So when we talk about customer needs, it can be twofold, right? One, there is a demand. Sorry, before that, one, which product should be created for the next season conversation of anticipating needs, and the second one is we've already anticipated what we need to sell, but then anticipating how much to sell. Yeah, so let me just break it into two areas of alignment from ourselves. So we've started using technology to support our product creation teams to kind of anticipate, validate, and even do research on what's going to work in terms of consumers' preferences, pain points, in terms of product. So we've given them a set of tools that will help them to do product research and validation in terms of understanding similar products, the price point it sells, whether it is selling well or not, what customers are saying in terms of ratings and reviews. Are a set of tools that we kind of introduced to our product creation teams. We kind of had these tools again 2 years ago, but there was a lot of debate about whether the online consumer is representing the wider consumer, because at that time the online consumer would, or the online sales of a brand would account to about maybe 5%, 10%. So whether those points of view of the digital consumer was actually representing the offline consumer as well was a debate, right? However, if you look at last 1 year, there weren't any brick and mortar consumers. They were all online consumers, and we felt with 30-40% of sales coming through the online channel, that the point of view, pain points, anything that is being mentioned there is relevant for that product. So we are using some technology to understand more about those pain points so that we could check and adjust the products that we are creating, so that we take into account the feedback loop back into product design. So that's the way that we are kind of using technology to kind of anticipate what the customer wants proactively, in addition to the technologies that we or the manufacturing capabilities that we have in terms of reducing lead time and speed to market as well. But from a technology point of view, I think it has played a massive role in product creation. So I think that's also an important area. We frame it in a different way. We always say that all this time, MAS as an organization has helped our customers win in the brick and mortar space, right? And I think now it's time for us to change the way that we do things in order to help our customers win in their online space. So when you say the brands are moving into a digital first strategy, that means we have to make sure as a supply chain partner to help them win in their digital channel. Now, to do that, we've kind of broken capabilities that we need to build into about 3 areas. Like I mentioned before, product creation is one area that we need to work to be faster and also to use technology to do product creation during in season. When I say product creation, maybe tweaks to products in season. The second piece is what do you have to do in sourcing, manufacturing in that area, and even beyond manufacturing. So from our side, we broke it down into those three buckets, and we feel that processes in each of these three buckets will have to be check and adjusted in order to service our brands who actually have a digital first strategy, because their needs from the supply chain will be different. And people ask, okay, what's the difference between a brand that is selling online and a brand that is selling on brick and mortar? It's very simple. It's the feedback loop. The brands that are selling online have more information to make their buying decision than a brand that is selling offline to make those buying decisions. So if these buying decisions are made much closer and much faster, they would expect the supply chain partners also to respond in that same speed, because otherwise those buying decisions will not get materialized at the speed that they would expect, and that will result in lost sales for them, for example. So we feel that technology can play a role in all those three buckets, and we are constantly looking at how do we unlock those capabilities in those three buckets so that we help our customer win online. So as an industry, using either manufacturing technology, either using a supply chain or using digital technology, end of the day, you have to be very clear that you have to reduce your lead time, because you can't achieve agility if you don't reduce your lead time. And also, you have to have the capability to make things in smaller batches, because we feel that those are the two main things that will increase your agility as a manufacturing partner, right? So don't my advice would be, don't try to start with technology and try to find where you're going to use it. Have some clear uh, vision about, I want to make my lead time X amount of days, or I want to make my minimum batch size X amount of pieces. And then from there onwards, start to kind of break down that problem and see where technology can be adapted or used to solve that problem. So that would be my kind of advice to anyone trying to innovate in our industry, because it's not technology first. It actually has to be either the business opportunity first or the business problem first.